Sports Cards. Get at it.
Hey, Tulaflava, what's good? TE2 Sports Cards here, led to Dr. John Peterson, coming at you live and direct from Minneapolis, Minnesota, as usual. We've got a serious winter storm going on here right now, so super cold weather. It's supposed to be negative 30 below with the wind chill today. Didn't get as much snow as we were supposed to. I think they'd been talking about 6 to 9 inches, and there's just maybe an inch on the ground. So, but definitely going to be cold. We got basketball today, so thought I'd get up early and have some fun here. I picked up this box of 92 Series 1 Leaf. Also got a box of Series 1, and then also have a box of Series 2 Leaf that I picked up off of Facebook Marketplace. I think I got each box for 20 bucks. So pretty cheap rip. Looking for 92 Leaf gold parallels in this product. I did a little research, and some of the golds in PSA 10 do pretty well, especially the Tommy, the Griffey, and the Pedro Martinez. So, and the Jeff Kent, all those are over 200 bucks. And then the just regular base Tommy is about 158 for sold. So yeah, looking for these golds, and I don't know what the insert rate is. Guess we'll just have to find out. So lost my box cutter earlier this week. I was doing some work and it was left on the back of the truck, and I don't have that available to me today. So I never bought any of this in 92. I know for some it was a little bit higher end than just your regular tops. Of course, if there's parallels and inserts, that's beyond what tops is pretty much doing in 92, I think, but could be wrong on that. What the packs look like. Pretty cool. Yeah, so figured I'd do this rip this morning. Go through these packs, see what we can find. I don't know, anytime you're doing a $20 box rip, I think that's pretty reasonable. Oh, we got Adrian Beltre in the background here. I think he's going to be first ballot next week on Tuesday. Actually, in 2 Tuesdays, they'll be announcing the Hall of Fame inductees, and I think he'll be first ballot. So that's an auto, a 2005 Fleer National Pastime, autographed gold. I think it's numbered to 96. So picked that up raw, got it graded. Came back as an 8, which I thought was pretty decent. All right, let's put these packs here and get started. So this is definitely junk wax we're looking at here. Try and go quick. So I think we've got our first gold, Dickie Thon. I'll put the golds over here. See if there's anything in here that people recognize. Some old familiar names for those of us that were watching baseball and collecting back in the day. Ben McDonald. He was a prospect of note. My garbage going here. So yeah, just looking for these leaf golds in here in this product. Here's another leaf gold. Mark Leiter. My guess is that these leaf golds and PSA 10s are, people are trying to complete sets of that on PSA. Probably not a lot of people doing that, but there's always people messing with the registry. There's a Clemens. Set him aside. Yeah, so it'd be sweet to get a, I don't even know if Griffey's in Series 1 or Series 2. I didn't even look. So if you watch my channel, you'll know that I do enjoy ripping a little junk wax from time to time. There's Dennis Martinez, leaf gold. and Bass. There's a Ripken. That's a sweet looking card. Looks like they're in pretty decent shape too. Yeah, anything that PSA, there's a Yount. Anything that PSA 10s that's this old, you're really there's a Larry Walker. That's cool. It's probably a second year card. His rookie year was 91. That's a pretty good pack. Three Hall of Famers in one pack is not bad. Especially when you're talking junk wax. Yeah, so I typically rip junk wax. I don't spend much time anymore. I used to. Oh, there's the Leaf Gold. So what is this? That's Series 1 Gold Edition. And this is Gold Leaf Rookies. Okay, cool. Mark Hutton. Don't know much about him. Gary Gaddy was a former Twin. Julio Franco played like 20-some years in the MLB. So it looks like the golds are second card in the pack. Yeah, these types of videos don't get tons of views, but I know there are some junk wax collectors out there that like to watch these videos. You know, I mean, it's tough to make a profit off of junk wax. I think I did a video a while back that got a decent amount of views. It's just PSA is so tight on their grading for older 90s and 80s cards. Far tougher, in my opinion, than they used to be. So, which is kind of nice, though. I mean, if you do get something from, say, like the early 90s or the mid to late 80s at PSA 10s, it's going to carry some value. There's a Beltran. He was a pretty good player back in the day. Second baseman, Indians. David Cone. There's a Puckett. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. I think in a 10, that's probably a, I don't know, $70, $80 card. Little upside down action here. And there's another Ripken. So really you have to ask, you have to ask yourself, is it worth it to send it in and potentially get a 9? Bagwell. Grading fees right now are $19.99 for Collectors Club members of PSA, $14.99 for the January Modern Special, which unfortunately doesn't include 92. It starts at 93. What do we got here? Lance Johnson. So Juan Gonzalez. I don't think he'll be making the Hall. Tim Raines is a Hall of Famer. I don't think his cards are worth too much, though. Unless it's his rookie card. 81 tops. So I've gotten to the point where these commons, I dispose of them. Got enough boxes of cards sitting around. Don't need more commons from junk wax. There's a Molitor. Brett Butler in the Gold Edition. Move these up a little bit. Pat McDonald. Kirkabis. And then I'll do a separate video ripping box number 2, which is the Series 2. But $20, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. I got this Series 2 box, like I mentioned. And then 3 boxes of 90, what is it, 93 Donruss. 93 Donruss boxes were like $20, which is a really good price on those. Excuse me. I like the 93 Donruss Series 1 because they've got the Diamond Kings and the Griffey Diamond King. And a PSA 10 is about a $350, $400 card. The problem is you can't find those boxes for much less than $20 plus $15 for shipping on eBay. So I got mine for about 20 bucks, which I thought was really good. So these golds commons aren't probably worth much, but I figured I'd save them anyway. There's Mark Grace. A little bit of a market for Mark Grace. Another Clemens. It's 3 Clemenses. Another Bagwell. Although I don't think that's Bagwell's rookie card. I'm trying to think if he's got a 91 leaf. He probably does. All right. Let's keep going. Gary Redus. What we got here? Let's get a Griffey. Griffey Gold Edition would be sweet. That's a really cool card. You know, like, I'm a collector at heart, so I do love the photographs. That is a sweet looking Will Clark. That comes back in a 10. There's a Brett. Some of these come back in PSA 10, and if you're willing to take the risk, you're getting a pretty cool card. A cool looking card. I love the Brett. Look at that stance. It's classic. So I sent in 3 orders. I did a couple videos of what I sent into PSA just in the last. I went to the post office yesterday, dropped off the 3 boxes. There's a McGuire. Billy Wegman. The golds look pretty centered. There's a Trammell. These cards look pretty clean. Pretty good shape, given that they're 32 years old. Tom Flash Gordon. It's a middle and late reliever for the Royals back in the day. Let's go here. Excuse me. I know there's some folks out there who absolutely hate it when people clear their throats, and I don't like it either. So anytime I do, I try and, apologize. Jimmy Key. It's also, these are paper. Oh, there's another McGuire. These are paper, so there's no risk of these. Oops. Brent Gates. No risk of these bricking. Which is definitely something you have to be aware of when you're buying older wax from the 90s. Especially if it's got that gloss finish on the front of the card. You're looking at potential bricking if it's not been stored safely. Safely as in not in, really warm temperatures. I'd run a dehumidifier down in my basement so that the wax that I have in boxes stays relatively dry and at the same cool temperature of about 60 degrees. Keep it pretty cool in the house here. And it helps, especially down in the basement, to have a cooler, consistent dry temperature. You don't want your wax that you're sitting on to break up. There's a Henderson. Wow, these are some sweet photographs with leaf. Look at that. That's great. Derek Bell. And again, I don't know if Griffey is in this first series, or I have no idea what the checklist looks like. There's another Ripken. Figured I'd get 110 on these Ripkens. 3 or 4 McGuires so far. Let's start a new stack. I haven't done a video like this in quite some time. There's a period of time there where I did quite a few of these consistently, but and some people might be like, oh, I can't believe you throw these away, the commons, but space becomes an issue at some point, so you have to just make some tough decisions, and I don't plan to sell the commons in any sort of lot. That takes too much time, and the margins on it are pretty low. But like I said, if you pull one of these gold parallels and it's a Ken Griffey Jr., or if you pull the rookie card of Martinez, you're doing good. Another McGuire. Holy cow. There's a Mattingly. Look at that. That's a great one. Stretch it out. Mattingly's got a good market. It's too bad he didn't have a more healthy career. He'd have been a Hall of Famer. Some people think he should be in the Hall. I don't really know enough about his numbers to really say. Joe Grahi. Matt Stairs. I remember Stairs. A-ring. Donnie Slott. Corey Snyder. Snyder was a little bit of a home run hitter in the mid to late 80s. Played for the Indians. I think he's a third baseman. Cal Eldred. Steve Sachs. Billy Ripken, the brother of Cal. The infamous FU, or FA, excuse me, F-face card. It went through about 20 different, I'm exaggerating, but variations of trying to clean it up. 89 Fleer. That and the Griffey Jr. were the two hot cards that year. What do we got here? Darryl Kyle. Turk Wendell. I don't know much about Turk Wendell. Not a huge fan when that happens, when they're backward. Big Daddy Cecil Fielder. David Cone. There's a Puckett. So it looks like the entire base checklist is what comprises the gold. Your chances of pulling something good are not great. But you got to be hopeful. Scott Leas. Another Trammell. Robin Ventura. Another Grace. Famous for getting in a fight with Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan pretty much kicked his ass. I don't imagine Nolan Ryan is someone to tangle with. Alvin Davis. He was a great reliever. Lee Smith. Mackie Sasser. Not much there. So yeah, I sent in those. There's another Clemens. Holy cow, that's like 5 Clemenses. Nayring. Yeah, I sent in those 3 PSA orders. I split the orders up you saw the video that I did, or the 2 videos I did, I split them up into 3 orders. I paid a little more for the shipping, $40 for each order, but I don't know. I was watching Little Victory's YouTube channel. Been watching his stuff. He's pretty good. He said he does a lot of buying raw and then submitting to eBay, and then reselling on eBay, ComC, etc. And he suggested splitting the orders up. So, oh, there's a Brett. Off-centered left to right and top to bottom, unfortunately. So yeah, I split them up. Yount. And hopeful that I don't run into a bad grader on the 3 submissions, the 3 separate submissions. What do we got here? Dean Palmer. Nothing big for the gold parallels yet. Shoot. There's another Henderson. I guess flip these over. Doesn't bother me that they're upside down, but I suppose that you guys might not like that so much. Not a huge fan of ripping on camera just because it's hard to see the cards, but I don't know. People do enjoy watching some of these. J. Bell. These wet junk wax rips. Another Will Clark. George Brett. So I wanted to get that PSA order in time to have those graded cards back. I think there's almost 90 cards in all 3 orders. Olerud, he had a nice career in the 90s. Not going to keep that though. Well, Olerud had a nice career overall. He was really good in the 90s. Yeah, I want to get those graded cards back in the next couple months because we've got the great Minnesota card show coming up in April, and I want to have plenty of inventory for that show, which will be at the St. Paul River Center. It'll be by far the biggest show that's ever been hosted here in Minnesota. Kind of try and think ahead as much as I can. I'm still learning kind of the seasonal aspects of getting cards graded. John Franco. There's a Tony Gwynn. Resale on Tony Gwynn's pretty good usually. Smoltz. Another Will Clark. All right, getting down there. We got another probably 10 packs left. Packs open up pretty easy, which is nice. Well, doesn't look like we got to. Nope, here's the gold here. Oh, gold checklist. Okay, all right. Another Olerud. I'm not going to save that, Grace. We already got a couple of them. Gagne. Or as we said as Brewers fans, Greg, you gagged me. Hated the Twins growing up. I like the Twins now, but I was a hardcore Brewers fan back in the day, so hated the Twins in the Metrodome. Kirby Puckett always seemed to just kill the Brewers amongst other teams. Another Will Clark. That one's pretty off-center. Todd Van Poppel. He was a big prospect back in the day. Yes! Yes! We hit it. We hit it. The Leaf Gold Pedro. This one looks like it's in pretty decent shape. The edge over here is a little bit rough. I'm going to kind of soften that out and just cool that out a little bit. But this in the PSA 10 is about a $250, $300 card. All right, sweet. I'm going to put him up there. I don't have any penny sleeves down here quite yet. I've got to run upstairs and grab those. I just ordered some that came in the mail yesterday from Amazon. That's awesome. Yeah, look at that. Don't have this card. Never had this card. So Leaf Gold. Gold Leaf Rookies. Well, that makes the box right there. I mean, even if that comes back in a 9, looking at getting at least $35, $40 for that. Cover the cost of the box and cover the cost of the... Oh, sweet. Nice Will Clark, but off-centered left to right, unfortunately. That would have been sweet if it had been centered. Will Clark's resale value is pretty good, if you're not familiar with his stuff. Will the Thrill. Well, he was the man back in '87. That's what everybody was chasing. In '87, Fleer was Will Clark. As again, Brett Butler, Eckersley. That's a cool card. Look at that. Little sidearm. Bill Spires, Gooden. Yeah, if the PSA grading costs were lower, closer to like $10, it would make sense to get some of this base stuff graded, but with the hopes that you get a 10. But at $15, if you don't get a 10, you're looking at losing money just with the grading fees and the shipping. So Glen Allen. Oh, Charlie Hayes. I thought it was Glen Allen Hill. Charlie Huff. Another Grace. Yeah, so if you've got comments, if you watch this and you want to comment on this product, 92 Leaf Series 1, I don't know much about it. I bought some 90 Leaf, of course. A lot of people did back in the day. I started collecting in 1980. So by the time 1990 rolled around, I'd been collecting for 10 years. I would have been 16 at the time. So 90, 91, 92, did some collecting, bought some cards, but definitely by the time I was a junior, senior in high school, I didn't spend much more time with cards until I got back into it in the late 90s, early 2000s. Down to our last 3 packs here. What's this? Greg Olson. Don't remember him. Henderson. Gerald Perry. Buhner. There's a cool card. There's Strawberry. Again, another guy whose career, had he been a little more on point with his behaviors outside of baseball, he probably would have been a Hall of Famer. Yeah, the drugs and the alcohol got to Strawberry. Ended up having a decent career. Played for the Yankees. Won a World Series, I think. Tim Tuffle. Andy Elmore, Ron Gant. Well, that's Dave Henderson. I thought that was Ricky. It's Dave. All right, last pack. We're at almost 30 minutes here, so I'm going to wrap this up. Hal Morris. Rob Deere. And there's the Hawk, Andre Dawson. He's a Hall of Famer. Put him over there. All right. Well, this was the big card from the box. Not bad when you can pull a nice rookie card of Pedro Martinez that's still pretty clean. It's what, 22 years old on a $20 box. Not bad. All right. Appreciate it. All you watching, and have a blessed day. Peace out. One love.